High energy.
Oh! Was that leg or
Punch
dick?
my dick.
That looked like dick.
I meant to be more of leg, and I kind of like. Anyway. Hello and welcome to the OC Men, the podcast where every week my two friends and I watch an episode of the mid-2000s primetime teen dramedy, The OC, and discuss what we just watched. I'm JT.
I'm Russell.
And I'm Jamie.
And we are
The OC Men.
I feel like Russell and I were on, and Jamie just he saw that it was going to work, and he's just like, no, fuck this.
I've never done Uncanny, the other two, and then you guys both bailed on Uncanny.
I figured,
I forgot they were adjectives.
How lame are we going to be doing Uncanny like 3 times? I mean, you should have been on the ball.
Just regular OC Men. I'm into it.
Regular OC Men. We are the regular OC Men.
Zesty.
Lots of fiber, prunes. Regular.
Yeah, Dom.
Okay. Our goal for this podcast is to figure out just why I love this damn show so much and to see how two guys completely new to the series react to each episode in depth. Today's episode was The Gamble from Season 1, the end of Act 1 episode, as I'd call it. Before we jump into it, I just want to recap the story of the OC up to this point. So, wrong sides of the tracks, Ryan is in juvie. He's spent the weekend at his public defender's house, and he burned down a model home. His mother is AWOL, and he has nowhere to go. Last episode ends with Luke, the rival of the affections of Marissa, and he being locked up after burning down said model home.
Can we just go ahead and say, I don't think the whole house burned down. Why does everyone act like it burned down? All I saw was part of the second floor was burnt down. There was not
scorched
shambles.
the room.
It's easily fixable.
I don't know if you even see it again in the show. I assume it's burned down. I don't know. I see any fire. I'm just like, okay, that's that piece is going.
No, they had cops and firefighters there. They had to put the fire out.
He lit a house on fire that he didn't belong to him, so I think he needs to be punished.
All right.
Maybe it's lesser than maybe destroying all the property. Maybe just damage one room. The Gamble begins. The episode, The Gamble, begins with Ryan back in juvie. He's waiting for a way to get out, I suppose. I think he
needs a parental unit in order to get him out of there.
That's right. He's up for the parole board, and he can't get out because he has no parental unit to log him out of juvie, to sign him out of juvie. So Sandy Cohen comes in. First thing he says to him is, "We got to stop meeting like this," in a reference to the first episode.
It's adorable.
It's very nice.
Yeah. So Luke is also in jail, but he's getting out, of course, right as Sandy walks in and the scene happens. Luke gets out because he has family to actually sign him out, whereas Ryan does not. We get an intro of Francis Capra, who is the actor that plays Weevil in Veronica Mars.
I thought it was him, but I didn't want to be like, that's Weevil.
And he
looks so much smaller, though, right? He's like a tiny little
Weevil. Younger, I guess, right? Because Veronica Mars starts in 2004, and this is still 2000.
So in 1 year of prison time, he beefed up enough.
True, man.
Also, the same actor that played the little kid from the movie Shazam.
Yes.
Before he was, before the tattoos on the face. Kazam, what did I say?
Shazam, that was trademark. Would it have made more sense for Shaq to be in Shazam? But I think that was trademarked. But it had to be Kazam.
Yeah, so Francis Capra makes an appearance, and his role is to basically run into Ryan with his shoulder and pledge his undying hatred for him. He will fuck him up while he's in juvie. Did you guys? Do they have a history together in some way, or was it just because Ryan accidentally walked into his shoulder? Because it looked like Weevil, and I'll call him Weevil, ran into Ryan on purpose with his shoulder, and then he acted like, "Oh, now you've gone and done it. We're gonna have a rivalry now." But was there
when Sandy let him go and watches him walk down the hallway? It felt like he ran into every minority type. Like it was a weird, just everyone just hated that guy for no apparent reason.
It's why it's so hard to be a white man in America.
Exactly. They don't know our struggle.
Yeah. You go to jail, everyone hates you. That's what it is.
It's not fair.
Like
he did nothing.
Well, Ryan also said sorry, which he said you could see him in the recap of this episode. He said sorry to Kirsten, which seems to be like an OC thing to do. You say sorry when you apologize, but I guess if you're from Chino and you say sorry, that's the start of trouble.
Sign of
You
weakness.
can't-
That's how you get a fork to your neck.
If he had just punched back at Weevil at that moment, maybe he wouldn't have had a problem. But the moment there, I think, is important, though. Weevil serves the purpose of it creates a threat ticking clock for Ryan while he's in juvie. There's now a sense of urgency to get him out of there because now he has a problem. He's not just languishing in juvie. There's like a hit on him now, basically. So that kind of ups the stakes of that situation. And from juvie, it's a short scene. We move back to the Cohen's house where we get introduced to the Noopsies.
Okay, yeah. I tried to write that down, and here, so she's saying Noopsie.
This is how I would write it. Newpsies, Noopsies.
Okay.
Like Newport.
Noopis?
Newport, Noop. Seas. I'm not exactly sure. Those might represent something else.
It could just be like a cute way of saying it. We're the Noopsies.
Yeah. So you meet the Noopsies, and what do you think of the Noopsies? What is their job? Why are they called? Why do they have a title for them? Is it just a friend group, or what do they do?
We have a party planning committee.
It seemed like that was sort of the rich wives of this community that get together and plan gala and charity events after charity events.
Seems like it. And Kirsten seems to be kind of the chair of the whole committee, yet I thought that was strange. So it seems like she's the chair of the whole thing. They keep referring to the casino party as, Kirsten did it again. She had a great party. Yet it seems like she definitely wants to hold herself separate from those women. Do you think that is her being changed by Ryan's presence now and she's seeing herself from the outside just as Marissa is and just as Seth is? Or has she always not fit in with that group? Because she definitely seems to hold herself apart from it, right?
Yeah, that felt like that's something that she's always dealt with. I mean, going back to her marrying Sandy, that these are people who she grew up with. They're sort of those friends that you have from high school that you were sort of friends with just out of convenience because you were down the hall from, rather than they were people that you actually love and really want to spend a lot of time with.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I feel like maybe she would have been so outspoken, but now she can't deal. There's been so much going on in her house, she just has no time for the vapid. Yeah, I think they shine the Noopsies in very vapid light, a very frivolous type of conversations.
Sandy didn't seem to have too high of an opinion of them either, so I imagine that helps influence her decision.
Yeah, he seemed to really not like how exclusive they were exclusive they were being about Ryan being in the area. And he made a point to kind of what was his line?
Gonna go find another kid to corrupt this neighborhood, maybe a black one, maybe an Asian one.
Yeah. So it seems like he thinks of them as intolerant, and he sets himself apart from that.
There was an interesting line that I think one of the Noopsies said, "Nobody blames you for bringing him into the community."
Which Julie. Okay. Julie Cooper, Marissa's mother, is always very passive aggressive.
She got a lot more lines this episode. But so last episode, I know Sandy had said that to Kirsten, that nobody blames you, and she thought he was talking about Ryan when actually he was talking about the house. But I thought that's a very loaded statement to say, of kind of implying that you should be worried that people are blaming you.
Yeah, everything Julie says is passive aggressive, like that fake nice shit.
I found it very interesting that Kirsten seemed to not be able to get through this day with these women without alcohol when talking about the Bellinis and being like, make sure there's extra shots in mine. It's interesting the way that mom handles things with the way other moms handle things.
Kirsten's a very fancy day drinker. Bellinis and wine and stuff, not necessarily like six packs and kegs. I don't know. Seth then, as this scene goes on, Seth eventually goes out and invites Kirsten to go to juvie to visit Ryan. So Kirsten has walked outside the Noopsie convention meeting and is just chilling on the porch to get some air. And then Seth tries to sneak out. All right. I thought it was somewhat similar to the way Ryan tried to sneak out in episode 2 when Seth caught him. Seth now tries to sneak out to visit Ryan juvie, and his mother catches him, right? And then we'll see another instance at the end of this episode of someone trying to sneak out and then being caught again. I feel like that keeps happening.
I wanted to go back real quick because I know we skipped past the credits. One of the big things that I saw with the credits was that this episode's written by Jane Espenson.
Oh, okay.
From Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Game of Thrones. And I think she's kind of, you would know Russell better than I, she's known for a specific type of Buffy episode. Is that correct?
It's funny. I wish we had planned this but I wrote down some specific episodes that she wrote that I felt were very strong. Like, she's a big time Buffy writer. Like, she has written some of the great ones. in addition to Buffy, like she wrote one of the 14 episodes of Firefly, the Shindig, the one where Mal goes to the dance and then gets into a fight with Atherton Wing. But like her Buffy episodes were all just knocked out of the park, just like excellent ones, like the band Candy, where the parents eat candy and turn into teenagers again.
It's one of my favorite episodes.
Nice.
She did Earshot and Superstar, both having to deal with Jonathan when he's about to shoot himself, and then when he's a big time celebrity again due to magic, like very fun things.
Sure.
The replacement with two Xanders, Triangle, where the troll Olaf shows up and they
My
resolve
favorite
the stuff.
episode.
Yeah, that's straight from her. It's just crazy fun stuff that resolves things that have been going on for 2 seasons between Anya and Willow.
There's a lot of resolution kind of going on in this episode, or at least things coming to a head in this episode.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
resolution.
very curious how she got this job because, like, I guess this is right around when season 6 maybe of Buffy has just ended, so there's still going to be an extra season, but she's only on for this one episode of the whole OC.
Oh, really?
So I'm guessing she's just brought in to help make sure everything gets set up right. She also did Checkpoint in season 5 where the Watchers Council get their due from Giles. I Was Made to Love You, the one with the Buffy bot shows up, which is great. And Conversations with Dead People, she wrote that one with Drew Goddard, which is just a fantastic one. And also the penultimate episode, End of Days. She's just, she's a great writer, and it was cool to see her name on this, although a bummer then to learn that she's not on it for much further.
Absolutely. I guess when I picture Jane Espenson episodes, it's the dialogue between two specific characters we sort of see interrelationships. And I might be maybe projecting that, but this episode felt like that. Like you got to see a lot of like pairings of characters that maybe you hadn't seen before and sort of their relationships and how that sort of progresses. I tried writing it down somewhere, but I don't remember where. But anyway, not to derail too much, but Jane Espenson episode, super fun. I thought she did a great job with this.
No, absolutely. And in the spirit of characters interacting that haven't done it much so far, we get, like I said, we get the scene where Seth asks Kirsten to come with him to juvie to talk to Ryan. Their mother and son, obviously, but you've seen mostly interaction with Sandy within the family. This time, Kirsten gets a little bit more lines, a little more screen time than before. What did you guys think about Seth asking Kirsten to go see Ryan? Did she only go because she wanted to get away from the Noopsies? I mean, it seemed like she at least looked back at them at one point saying, like, no, I'll go. I want to get away from this. Or was she actually interested in helping Seth out and go talking to Ryan? How'd that all work?
I specifically made a note of that to ask you guys because I didn't get the impression that she cared to see Ryan at all at this point, that it felt entirely like this was an opportunity to just get away from the Noopsies. But I didn't know I was interested. It was, I guess, vague enough where I'd be interested to hear other people's opinions.
Yeah, she was looking to get away.
Yeah.
I don't think it was only that. I think she certainly has at this point in the show, she has an opinion of him. At this point in the episode even, she has an opinion of who Ryan is. She wants to support Seth, and she trusts Sandy to some extent. So there's something back there, right? Because if she didn't want to go, she just wouldn't go. So she obviously, I mean, it's not like the Noopsies are so bad that they're worse than going to juvie to talk to someone you hate. So there had to be something there, some sort of curiosity. Because you saw a little bit of her humanity in episode 2 when she's thinking about what kind of mother would leave this boy behind. So she might have been reminded by that somehow.
Yeah, this is coming after that conversation between her and Sandy where Sandy says, I'm doing it to help people. I like to do something good for someone. And so maybe she's like, her whole family wants to help this dude. I guess go help him.
And now she's seeing that concept held up right next to the vapidness that is the Noopsie conversation. She's like, what the fuck am I doing? This kid's languishing in juvie, and I can at least go and say hi to him and see how he's being, how he's doing.
Instead of worrying about Monte Carlo with the OC women.
Exactly. Or is it Vegas? Or is it, they have that discussion when they say, is it Monte Carlo or is it Vegas? Whatever. Seth also goes next door to invite Marissa to go see Ryan. He walks into Summer and she, as women do, just in their underwear, giggling together.
I'm pretty sure that's what all women do when they're hanging by themselves.
That's what we do when we hang together.
I try
That's
on
what
bras.
we're doing right now.
Yes. We look fabulous.
Summer mentions that she is hoping that Marissa's dad walks in on her while she's changing, which I don't think Marissa likes, though it's hard to tell with her facial expressions. And then, so Seth knocks on the door. Doors open. Of course, Marissa's dad, Jimmy, does get to see Summer, but so does Seth. Reaction for Seth seeing Summer naked. Creepy or romantic?
It was like the first time I ever saw him smile, I feel like.
He smiles like a serial killer, though. Like he's like, I know what I'm going to do with her skin when I kill her later. Like it was just, it was still creepy.
He lost the ability to speak for a second. He's like, oh, what now? Like, he forgot why he was there, and he just like he didn't play it cool at all. I'm not saying I'm really cool around hot naked women, but he really did not even try to play it cool. Like, act like you've been there before, buddy. He did not. And then Marissa seems strange there. She doesn't want to. I guess she doesn't want to admit to Summer that she cares about Ryan, right? That's just what their conversation's about before they get walked in on by serial killer Seth. So I think she tries to continue that by saying when Seth shows up at the door, she says, "What's that, Seth? You need a ride to a Star Wars convention?" Loud enough so Summer can hear. And I like. Well, first of all, is that an insult? Like, is it a fuck you, Marissa, at that point, or what's going on there? Why is he so upset by the Star Wars convention line?
I don't know. I mean, he goes instead to X-Men, right?
Couldn't you at least said X-Men?
So Star Wars just had the prequels come out, so I guess those are considered bad. Yeah, but X-Men just had because I guess the first and maybe the second X-Men movies had come out by then.
X2 had just come out. X3 would probably be a year or two away.
And so that's a bit cooler. They're wearing fun leather and being bad. So I don't know. Like, it's strange looking nowadays where, X-Men and Star Wars movies are coming out, so everyone loves them, and
that was before the nerd stuff was mainstream, I guess. Otherwise, Seth doesn't make sense as a character nowadays. A good-looking, in shape, indie music listening, pop culture nerd. I'm not. He didn't even have like the real nerdy geek qualities. Like, it's not. You don't hear about him playing Dungeons and Dragons. You don't hear about him being really into like computer programming or like MMORPGs. It's like I like X-Men. I like reading on the road, and I kind of like comic books. It's like all you're getting so far.
He plays GTA. He's got a surfboard in his room.
The nerdiest of all video games.
He does a boat.
He owns a boat.
He's rich. Like nerds are.
Yep. Eats like a T-Rex.
Yeah, but anyway, so Marissa does not accompany Kirsten and Seth to see Ryan because she's worried about how that will look to Luke at this point. Do you get the feeling that she kind of wishes she could go? If Luke didn't exist, she would go, right?
It seems to be the big debate this episode is her feeling really bad that Luke won't talk to her, and her kind of, and I guess she's also probably still feeling bad.
He uses his words so well.
Yes.
Can you imagine the dirty talk in the bedroom with those two? Shut up, queer.
Yes.
Like, fucking.
I was disappointed he didn't say it this episode.
He would want her to say that to him. That probably.
Yeah.
So go on, Jamie.
But I think she's also feeling very rejected from having sort of thrown herself at Ryan and then been turned away. So I think it's a lot of her trying to deal with feeling rejected and also trying to get back in Luke's good graces.
Would she still care so much about what Luke thinks? Would she still be with Luke if Ryan had not rejected her that night? Because Luke would have walked in on them fucking. Essentially, he might have killed him, or he might not have saved him from the fire if that's what he walked in on. Right. Or he might never have gone in. He was waiting for her to walk out. So maybe if he fucked her, she would never walked out of the model home, and Luke would have seen her walk out.
She couldn't walk.
And those Atwoods, they'll fuck you bow-legged. So I guess my question was kind of like, is she? I mean, does she like Ryan to the extent at this point that if she had, maybe they wouldn't have fucked, they just kissed or whatever. If Ryan didn't reject her, is everything different now?
Yeah, because I would imagine in her head she's got
nothing.
Well, she's got. Well, yesterday she was trying to decide between Luke and Ryan, and then she was like, "I pick Ryan," and he said no. So now in her mind, she's like, "Oh, Plan B, go back to Luke. Make sure that works.
And then use Plan B.
That."
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's go on to the visit at Juvie. Okay, so we get the second visit to Juvie. Am I calling? Is it Juvie? Is that where they are, or is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Although they're not 18.
They make it look like he's in like maximum security actual prison. I don't think Juvie is actually like jumpsuits and bars and
no clue.
But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. So I mean, I have no clue. But it feels it's just supposed to look like prison.
I don't think I have enough street cred to call it Juvie, but Juvenile Hall seems so outdated. Like, what else do you call it than Juvenile Hall or Juvie? Is there another thing?
Juvie.
Baby booking from The Wire. Don't they call it baby booking?
Little jail.
That's booking, though. That's not actually Juvie. Okay, so
Camp prison.
They visit camp prison. Kirsten and Seth roll up to the meeting area. What do you call that? Where you can...
Yeah,
where no guards are present and it's only prisoners hanging out by themselves.
I feel like I've seen that kind of like in Orange is the New Black or something. There's just like a bunch of tables in an open room, and like the prison guards are kind of like at the doorways, but it's kind of an open room they can sit at.
That's where Michael always met his dad in Arrested Development.
No touching.
Oh, didn't peek. Oh,
No touching. I'm sorry, Russell tried to touch me.
Always.
So
I just want to leave a mark on your neck.
That's true. Yes. Thank you for that. Just like Ryan has a mark on his neck, which is only seen after Seth and Kirsten sit down, and really the only thing that happens at the juvenile hall is we see that the threat to Ryan is real. Weevil is definitely upping his game from shoulder nudges to like straight up fighting, and Weevil catches the eye of Ryan, and then more significantly of Ryan's not mother, but is the woman that came to see him in Kirsten, and he makes untoward advances towards Kirsten, saying disrespectful things to her, which Ryan does not take. Seth doesn't care because he's a sociopath, but Ryan definitely takes offense to this and tackles Weevil, and he will not. His damsel is in distress. He can't not do something. The result of which being Weevil now has upped his threat from I'm going to fight you to I will kill you.
I was really disappointed with Seth right there because I wanted Seth to come in and kick Weevil in the face, but he just backed away.
You're not going to get that from Seth for the most part. If you remember his fight on the beach, it wasn't like all heroic. He at
least picked the guy off him.
Yeah.
He could have at least tried to stick up, if not for his mother's honor, then at least for when Ryan is entangled with the guy, right? Okay, so what's the reaction to that?
Everyone's super scared by that because Ryan's going to die.
Yeah, so which results in
Kirsten taking him home. That she realizes that that's way more dangerous than, and even though that what I was interested to see in this episode is because what we talked about last episode, Ryan really fucked up, like in a way that's not like, oh, it was a misunderstanding that he just would know he like broke into this house. It caught on fire due to his negligence.
Again, none of his, but it's like he goes along with it all, but he doesn't have the agency in any of these decisions. He didn't decide to fight Luke. He didn't decide to go to that house. It was Seth's idea. He didn't decide to stay there. That was kind of Marissa's idea. He still is just being swept along by everybody.
Absolutely. So I'm not saying he's bad, but in Kirsten's eyes,
as far as Kirsten
she was trying to trust him, and he fucked up. So this episode has to be her finding a way to legitimately trust him and bring him. So showing that the prison was bad news and that it's too dangerous, and her motherly instincts kick in.
So she still thinks he's dangerous at this point, but that now the sympathy for what he might have to go through if he's stuck in juvie outweighs the possible threat to Seth.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I guess it'd have to. So yeah, they come home and Sandy gets surprised by Ryan, which it gave me a second of pause, though, because I was like, okay, so he's this kid's lawyer, and he's probably the one in the family that often deals with legal matters and things with children in jail specifically, right? So it seems strange that it seems like she'd have to go out of her way to do this process without contacting Sandy, who's been in it the whole time. So can she just go this juvie, meet with Ryan, not be related to him, and just without his lawyer at all, or the lawyer even knowing, just take him home with her?
Right.
I thought that was a little strange. Like, you think he would be called as the lawyer of the kid, right?
That feels like a thing, like, yeah, it's not like an R-rated movie where you just need just a random parent or guardian. It's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm over 18, so I'll take them with me. But,
I mean, unless she was already on some sort of documentation that Sandy had made saying that she is one of the approved adults that can take him. I thought that was really weird.
Because if that was the case, was the only thing stopping Sandy from bringing him home the fact that Kirsten didn't want him?
I think it was, yeah. I got that feeling it definitely was. Like, if he could have, he would have just brought him home immediately.
And like, he heard them playing video games from 6 rooms away. Like, he opened the door and immediately heard the sounds of video games. Sandy has some good ears.
It's bad parenting, by the way, because Seth can't have video games. He can't have video games. Ryan's here now. All of a sudden, the guy that burns down shit is back. Now your grounding is lifted. Like, no, both those guys should be grounded together and both not be playing video games.
Yeah. Right.
Seth knows what he's doing. He knew he was grounded. Why he play video games with Ryan? I don't like that. You can't waffle on the rules, or they'll run right over.
But that feels like, yeah, if you're saying, if you're gonna come, I'm gonna get you out of juvie and you're gonna come back to my house, that the first step is you need to realize there's consequences.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't lift the consequences for the other guy that's in trouble for the thing that puts you in juvie in the first place. But anyway, okay, so he comes home from juvie and he can't stay in juvie, but I think the line is something like he can't stay there, but he can't stay here either. So he can't stay with the Coens indefinitely because Kirsten doesn't trust him yet, but he also can't stay in juvie because he's going to get killed, right? So the result of that is Sandy has a private investigator or to some extent, or a detective or something, and they're looking for his mother, who is AWOL since the end of the first episode when she up and left. And did you guys notice? Okay, so they're talking around the kitchen table about all this stuff. Did you guys notice how much cereal was in that scene?
It was heavily sponsored by Kellogg's.
Seth did say something like, choose from a wide array of cereal. So I was looking. There was at least 7 to 8, maybe 9 cereal boxes just out in the open in that kitchen. That was crazy.
That's
Did you notice her?
Then their housekeeper just has to put it all away. I was definitely thinking, I was like, I never had breakfast like that prepared. It's like, if you want cereal, go in the pantry and get it. But
maybe all she did was just put it out for them so they didn't have to go in the pantry. But it seems like an extra step that's not necessary. Rosa seems like she had a lot to do this episode. Like Kirsten was on it. I felt like they made a point to show every time she ordered Rosa to do something, like they were trying to make a statement. Or did you get that? I felt like just 2 or 3 times. It was very clearly the opening of a scene with Kirsten speaking to the housekeeper, Rosa. I
noticed the dialogue. I didn't get any sort of sense of a message behind it other than to show.
It wasn't so much that I got a message from it, as just the fact that they kept showing her. Why even have those short amounts of conversation? You got so many characters to fit in their stories here. Why continually show her giving orders to Rosa for some reason? I thought that was interesting.
Maybe it's to show her status.
That might be it.
Just how much money they have and how they get things done. Yeah. How can she afford to be this business lady and also get everything done around the house?
Yeah, you have people that comment on shows like this might be like, "Oh, so she's never at work," or she's
Speaking of, I've never seen Ryan take a shit. When is Ryan going to take a shit?
I hate when people do that kind of shit, man. Because some people are serious, and maybe not the shit part, but some people are seriously like, well, when does he drink water? People will watch The Walking Dead and be like, I don't ever see them like getting their clean water. Like, do you want to watch a scene where they have to track down clean water? Maybe for one episode, I think there was an episode that dealt with the fact that they were running short on supplies, food, or water. And so that's when you show it and just assume that that's what they have to do for the rest of the season.
It would have been amazing if the first thing that Ryan had said when they brought him back from juvie was, I got to go take a shit.
He runs in holding his butthole like a cartoon.
I'm going to hit the head. All right. See you guys in a few. Welcome to the OC, bitch.
He says that to the toilet.
Do.
I was about to see. Ryan's like, I'm about to see if this toilet can take a plunge. Jumps on it. All right. So they move on to the setup for casino night. So Kirsten brings Ryan along and Seth, but he doesn't matter in this. He's useless. They're brought along to casino night.
He blows up balloons.
He does, which is a good comedic turn.
That cut of just like the guys do the heavy lifting. Then
now that the big strong guys are here do the heavy lifting, and Seth is just in there like blowing up a balloon, like looking off camera a little bit like a child.
I'm helping too, you guys.
Good moment. But Luke is there as well, which I thought was interesting that I get that Luke and Ryan are both going to be setting up this casino night and they're going to have to like see each other without fighting. But I thought it was interesting that whoever was organizing that put them specifically to carry the same table. There's not like two different things they could do. You have to put them in close proximity to each other as possible.
They were just arrested together for burning down the house. It feels like
burning down the house. So what's their relationship at this point? Did you get the feeling that they still about to fight, or is something changed since their shared jailing?
Yeah, it's changed. It's a little different. I don't think they're best buds yet, but there's like a
uneasy
understanding. Yeah.
I wrote down uneasy truce. I wanted to work that in there.
Yes,
it's like
I wrote down uneasy deuce. That's why I mentioned that.
That's what he did when he punched that toilet. So. It seems like Luke is at the point where he's like, I'm not going to fight you anymore, but just stay the fuck away from me type of thing. So he's like, I'm done even dealing with you. Marissa and I are just going to get back to where we were. I'm going to pretend you don't exist. It seems less friendship or less kinship or anything, and now it's just let's pretend we don't exist to one another.
That was right now is when Marissa tries to talk to Luke as he's holding a table, and then like it just pans over and Ryan's holding the other end of the table, right? That was that.
No.
I like that as a beat.
Which one of us do you want to talk to?
Yes, there we go.
And then as Luke walks off and leaves the guy that he doesn't want her to talk to her. Not the strongest move by Luke if he's jealous, maybe, but
nailed it.
I'm mad at you for talking to him. Let me leave you alone with him so you guys can talk.
There were so many people saying sorry in the scene. It was just everyone like, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
What context?
Luke being sorry for burning down the house. Ryan being sorry for being there. Kirsten being sorry for bringing him when she knew Luke was going to be there. Marissa being sorry to everyone in the world.
There was a lot of sorries going on there.
Which is not a Chino thing. It's a very OC
More of
thing
an
to be
Indian
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorries.
Oh, okay.
You're like, what type of Indian is he going to be racist here? What's going on? Is that racist? It's not
Sorry.
racist. They wear saris in India.
Gave us a good country.
It's a very arc thing.
That's true.
No, I'm sorry. That's Saurus.
A brontosaurus.
It's a deep joke. We move on.
To the coffee shop.
The coffee shop.
Can we?
Let's do it.
There's one scene where I really wanted something to happen and it didn't. Ryan and Marissa were having a conversation and like it fell flat and then it pans over to Seth holding a balloon and I just wanted him to let the air out of the balloon so bad, but he didn't. I was just ready for that.
That's like third season, fourth season OC probably.
Oh.
If that, I'm going to say right now, if this episode happened in the fourth season, that would have absolutely happened.
God, now I'm pissed it wasn't there.
But he did have a good comedic moment with the balloons. But they didn't want to overinflate the balloon joke.
No.
That's right. They didn't.
Luke's shirt here said Comets. Was he? Is that the sports team for the OC? Or are they the OC high school Comets?
The high school team are not the comics as far as I know.
The water polo team is the Comets.
They're Harbor School is what it's called. It's a private school. I don't
Comets
remember
then?
what the mascot is. Maybe it's just like a fictional local like pro team or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, is there anything interesting else? Anything else interesting at the setup for the casino night, or do you want to jump to the coffee shop?
Yeah.
So, what happens at the coffee shop, Jamie? You seem excited for that one.
I just wrote, Sandy is a muffin eating boss. He's a
muffin eating boss.
Yeah, because he sits down and just eats Julie's muffin.
He does a strong. He does that strong move where he does a passive aggressive muffin eat of Julie.
Oh yeah, the classic move.
I'd say that's the biggest he's ever been a jerk in the show so far.
Yeah, but you want him to be a jerk right there because he's okay. So what happens is he overhears Julie and the other noopsies talking shit about his wife, about Ryan, and just being holier than thou about some shit.
How did they not see him? There's 5 people in this coffee shop, and they're talking about one of the 5 patrons who are just sitting there already.
They're that just vapid and self-absorbed.
You'll see I don't want to call it a theme, but a way to force plot in the OC is definitely people over. It's the soap opera trope. People overhearing shit that they're not supposed to.
Sure.
People say things at the exact wrong time all the time in the OC.
I can relate.
So far, we've seen Ryan overhearing stuff, and now we're seeing everyone else overhearing stuff. By everyone else, I mean Sandy here. So, what kind of new information is introduced here? I think the most important thing is that we get that Julie's from Riverside. Do you guys get a feel for what being from Riverside means in this
It's like
context?
Chino, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I guess I wrote that down as to ask what Riverside was, but I guess we get it established a little bit later in the episode.
She came from a van down by the river.
That's
specifically. That's what that's supposed to. It's a callback. No,
which says you called me white trash. It said I was from Riverside.
So Chino's a real place. Is Riverside a real place? I've never looked it up.
We should have looked that up beforehand.
I just thought that now.
Is that where Archie's from?
That's Riverdale. I thought the same thing though.
Archie's dead, right?
I think he died.
No
but
spoilers.
He maybe came back.
Because he was protecting his gay friend, right?
I don't
It was
know
like a
why
big
he died.
moment. His like he had a gay friend that
Jughead?
he was like a politician and he was going to get assassinated. And like Archie jumped in front of him to take the
bullshit.
bullet for him. I'm like 99% sure that some combination of that happened.
So Riverside is definitely a real place. I'm trying to look up to see if there's any sort of notorious things that have happened there or anything. Because I would imagine any place that's not the OC would probably be viewed as, less than white trash to that crew.
I do know that people from Riverside, when they have an obligation like to help set up a club for a party, they leave during the middle to go to a coffee shop to talk shit about the people who are still at the club.
Yeah.
It's a choice. Because they're like the committee that's putting it together, right?
They're one of the 8 ladies.
Yeah.
They're a part of the fellowship.
But now the men are there, they don't have to do anything.
I was a little disappointed. It felt like that whole scene is set up so that we get Sandy sitting down and finally talking to them. And that I was a little disappointed that we didn't get more. It felt like as soon as, he takes a bite of her muffin and then...
I had so much coffee in my mouth when he said that.
He's munching on her muffin.
On her
I don't
bubble
get it.
rump.
Yes.
Munch on that bubble rump.
But then almost immediately gets a cell phone call, which isn't related at all. And there's, I guess, a certain point.
That rhymed.
There's sort of a fuck you of like, I'm going to take this call and just talk while you guys are waiting.
That's true.
But I wanted him to hang up and continue kind of like, but then he's just like, I got to go. Because I I guess he finds out where the mom is.
Got a call from that Dawn.
Yeah, so
About the Dawn.
I would have liked to have
yes.
seen more.
Well, what's the significance of her being from Riverside? Just to show the hypocrisy that Julie Cooper has. She's judging Ryan for all this kind of stuff. Is she actually scared of him, or is she worried that people learning about this guy from out of town, people make the connection to her? Will people start paying attention to the fact that, hey, she's not insider either? Or does she not want to confront that part of herself? She's so ingrained now. She only want to think of herself as coming from Riverside. You're starting to get some reason, the psyche behind of her aversion to Ryan, I think. More so than just, ew, it's a guy from Chino. She's seeing something in herself that she has probably not thought about in a while.
It seems like if you compare the two characters of Kirsten and Julie, that you get the person who grew up very wealthy, who's sort of almost embarrassed about her status and trying to look past that, whereas the person who grew up not wealthy and sort of married into that is very concerned with maintaining that image and being. So I think that that's a really interesting fact to learn about her as a character.
Yeah, definitely.
She also wasn't worried about Sandy putting his fingers all in her muff, but was concerned about getting a new napkin. So she didn't want a new muffin, so I guess she probably wasn't going to even eat that anyways.
Yeah, just for show.
She gotta look good. She lives on the beach. What kind of muffin was it?
Blueberry?
Go on.
Fact.
Back to muffin talk. We're the muffin men. Okay, let's move on from the muffins. I felt like there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more area for jokes with what type of muffin it was.
No, we shaved the muff area pretty clean.
I think we have fracked the area of, we have minded of all its usefulness, that muffin.
Mind that muffin.
So Dawn, we meet Dawn in a laundromat. She's talking with a nice lady whose machine ate her quarters. That's where Sandy finally tracks down Ryan's mother, Dawn. I made the note that she's a poor man's Katie Seagal. Katie Seagal being Gemma from Sons of Anarchy. She has the exact same voice and kind of like a similar look to her. I thought that was interesting. Did you guys not notice that, I guess?
She didn't look like her to me, but that I can... Okay, cool.
It's mainly the voice. She reminded me of Katie Seagal.
Does her actress have a singing career too?
I don't know.
Good.
I don't think I've ever seen that actress anything else before.
I could see her. She's got a similar vibe. I could definitely see that. Like if Sons of Anarchy had been made on less of a budget, you're like, let's bring in this lady instead.
It's kind of around the same area, right? Didn't Sons of Anarchy take place in kind of the same...
Charming was in...
I imagine it's near
Was it
that same type
California?
of place, right? It's in California.
Okay. Here we come.
All right, so Sandy brings back Ryan's mother, Dawn, back to the Cohen home, and they have a nice family dinner all together, which does not maybe go the way everyone wants it to go. She kind of gives the Cohens the family history and trying to kind of explain, I guess, her moves, explain why she did what she did, leaving Ryan, what precipitated this situation, also trying to assure them that she has changed in a way. But Ryan storms away from the table. What kind of reads you guys get on that reaction?
At this point, because I guess I'd met her in the first episode, and I guess I know that she had done some shitty things. I definitely was sort of empathizing with her a little bit. I kind of felt bad that she felt very out of place and very very aware of her societal status compared to them, and very, very awkward and trying to be nice and very appreciative. And Ryan was definitely jumping down her throat at every chance.
Did you think that she was acting a little awkward there and saying kind of the wrong stuff every now and then because she was so nervous about the situation? She wanted to make sure she was the perfect thing. She was out of her element. Because she did say she overshared, I guess, at least in Ryan's opinion, that maybe, I didn't think about it until you said, but maybe she was trying so hard to be like what she needed to be in this rich house that she's not comfortable in. Yeah, that's interesting.
It reminded me of in Boy Meets World. Corey and Sean's relationship is very similar to Seth and Ryan's relationship. And whenever Sean's father would come around, he would always sort of be in that sort of deal like Ryan's mother was, where it's sort of like completely out of their element, but wanting to fit in and wanting to still look like a good parent in front of them, but having trouble keeping it together.
It's the extreme. It's like the beginning form of what Julie's doing at like a much more deeply ingrained level. Like Julie's from Riverside, so she's performing this aspect of being from the OC, being so exclusive, being so above it all. It's the same mindset goes in. So she's performing just like they're starting to try to perform what they think they should act like in this situation. That's interesting.
We also learned later that she's a bit of a con person, and it looked like Ryan was trying to bust up anything she said, and like Ryan wanted know the real us, know the truth. I don't want there to be any secrets. And that seemed to put her off as well.
Which a con person is going to definitely have the secrets, right? So why does Ryan storm out? Like, what's the precipitating event? What's the catalyst?
I think he was, because I think he was fine until she showed up. I thought he was enjoying himself. They had a fun day where like he got to talk about his favorite hobby, and Kirsten was finally starting to like her. And then all of a sudden, here comes this person who left without even leaving a note. And so like, now I lost the jackpot again.
Was there a specific line that was said that made him storm out?
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys remember it specifically. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it seemed like he was actually cool with the dinner to some extent. He was definitely pushing back against her. The same way she was trying to perform what was expected of her at that dinner, he has also been doing that since he's been with the Coens. They're doing the same thing, right? So I think she is shattering what he's built up. This kind of he's even keeled. He tries to present a face. He tries to be very respectful, and she's talking. Basically, I think he got very embarrassed by having her air their dirty laundry of abusive stepfather or whoever it was, boyfriend of hers, past drug use, her alcohol, all these type of. It seems like he did not want the Coens to know just how bad it was. Maybe.
Well, he brought up AJ, and he brought up, did you see Trey?
That's true.
And she's the one who has to be like, well, he didn't want to see me, and like, oh, I'm not drinking anymore. It was all AJ who was into that stuff, and not me. And so I think.
That is interesting. Yeah, now that you're saying that, I do remember. Yeah, he brought it up. It's just like once he got the answers, I thought it was very much oriented around he didn't want the Coens to hear about it for whatever reason, though.
He probably doesn't want them to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, okay, I get that from his character. He doesn't want. Yeah, he doesn't. If I had to guess if he likes people feeling sorry for him or not, he definitely seems like the type of character that would not want to put people out that way.
When they have that meal, Rosa brings up by a bowl of baby carrots, and I guess they were roasted or steamed or something, but I've never seen anyone just eat baby carrots like that. Just like, do you want a scoop of baby carrots? Like, no, thank
That's how them rich folks do it, man.
All right, that's weird. They shouldn't.
They're rolling deep in the baby carrots.
They also eating by candlelight, which I didn't think it was that serious and that fancy, but I guess
They don't mess around.
I guess it was.
Now I'm hungry for baby carrots.
And candles.
Are baby carrots like a different type of carrot?
They take carrots, I think, and they cut them up in some ways and like shred down pieces and then mold them into baby carrots. And so like, I mean, they're still carrots. They're still carrot pieces. They've just been manufactured so that they are all a uniform size for snacking.
Titling them baby carrots makes me think of them as young carrots.
Yes,
like
carrot eggs.
Yes, carrot eggs.
Yes.
Carrot eggs.
Carrot eggs.
That's where Easter bunnies hatch from. Carrot eggs. That's a cute joke.
Tell that to your parents.
Tell it to your parents.
Oh.
Okay, so after their nice dinner that doesn't end so well, the whole family, including now Dawn, attends the casino night.
We get the reveal of Fancy Mom because she's got because I guess we get Ryan and her run off and they talk a little bit, and I thought it was interesting the body language of every time she tried to get close, he was like always keeping a set amount of distance, but they sort of get to a point where she explains that she's trying really hard and she's trying to make it work, and she apologizes, and I think he says, let's take it slow, that he's willing to not actively hate her, but at the same time he can't just go back to treating her like his mom, so he's going to give her a chance. And then Kirsten makes her over. She's got the fancy look of a 2003
There's
lady.
not a montage scene where she tries on different clothes or anything.
It's just walking on sunshine and just her trying things, and then Ryan shaking his head. No, not that one. So anyway, yeah. So I guess they go to this casino night with everyone sort of happy with one another. Ryan deciding to give his mom another try, thinking it's going to work out.
Yeah, and they... I know specifically about the scenes, lots of quick cuts, lots of characters moving in and out of scenes, like giving this sense of lots of stuff is happening at once. Everything is moving. It's a hustling and bustling scene, and it's got this sense of everything kind of boiling up, like everything coming to the boil. Like lots of things are meeting together here. Lots of characters, conflicts are forced in the same room, forced to interact. I thought that... is handled well, in my opinion, the way they visually represented this as well as just a plot.
They did a great job with the music as well that I noticed as like each of these
Big band
threads
stuff?
are and like the music started building and getting faster and getting louder as we're getting each different story thread like coming to a head before. I guess that's kind of the end of the second act, right? That would probably be the same way where last episode they were playing Hallelujah and everyone was sad. This is like they're playing big music and everybody is mad because we've got. I don't know why I just have Seth blows.
Because he blows on Summer's dice.
He's awesome at blowing.
But he thought her tits is what she thought she said at first. Would you blow on these?
You know how you blow on tits all the time, guys? He's a virgin. He's not good with girls, so he doesn't know.
I think I've heard it's done this way, right? Just
is she asking me for a blowjob?
This is how it's done? I don't think, but
it's not working. Okay, so yeah,
that was one of the 4 stories that they had going on, which switching between like quickly, and it was a neat to see. Seth have what he referred to as his best night ever, just being able to hang out with Summer,
which he had just recently had in episode 1 when he went on the beach and got in a fight.
Mm-hmm. That was his best night ever.
I think that's what he said. Yeah,
every night can't be the best night ever, Seth. When they're all the best, none of them are.
Well, they keep topping themselves.
All right, so what are our storylines that we've got?
Okay, so we've got Ryan's mom counting cards.
Yes.
And starting to want to drink. Seems like she's been sober for a little bit, but her hands are shaking.
Yeah.
I'm barely listening. No, her hands are shaking. She's wanting a drink. We got Summer making Seth into her rabbit's foot.
Yes.
Blow on these.
Sandy learns about the check. From Julie. So Julie's starting.
Well,
to
Julie
shit.
blabs to Sandy specifically. I wanted to ask about that. Does Julie have intentions there? Does Julie want to fuck with Sandy? Does she know Sandy's not been told and she wants to get Kirsten in trouble?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree that was. Once again, I think it says a lot about her character that she's devious and knows how to. I mean, she's like Littlefinger style. Just
definitely.
Well, she's upset at Sandy from earlier, but she's also, I think, upset at her husband for doing this. She doesn't want a handout. Like I thought it was interesting how everyone sees the form of money. Like Julie sees the money as a handout. Kirsten sees the money as a loan. She's expecting to get paid back. All that, what's his face? Marissa's dad, Jimmy. All he sees is $100,000, and that's all he cares about. Mm-hmm. Sandy sees it as more than he makes a year. So like everyone sees this same exact thing as a different thing, and in her mind, it's just a handout. Like, ugh, I don't want that. I don't want to be seen.
She comes from Riverside. She's proud. She doesn't want a handout.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? What do you guys think? Well, 2 things. Let's go back to Summer making Seth her rabbit's foot, having him blowing her dice to keep her craps game going.
Go on.
Did you see that as kind of fun flirtation on her part a little bit, or was it just degrading? He is nothing. He happens to be lucky right now, or is it? What's going on there?
She knows who he is.
Yeah, she gets his name wrong twice, but she knows who he is, right?
Yeah, at least as a person, as a concept, as like, okay, I've met this person. They know Ryan lives next door to Marissa, and so I think she probably feels she wants to hang out with him. Doesn't want to hang out with him, but like she gets an opportunity. She understands who he is.
I agree. I think she's playing a little bit of a game. It's not. I mean, it's presented very much as I don't know your name. Anyone would work as long as they blew on the dice. But yeah.
Okay. See, I think I read it as just that as face value, but I like the way you guys are painting it better. So I'm interested to see. I like that there's more going on with her than just a vapid person not aware of anyone else that's around
Which,
her.
again, she may have been written like this because I think she is still probably a guest star at this point. But knowing what she turns into, maybe I'm just filling in blanks for her character a little bit. But she may have actually been written at this point, still be comedic relief in that she's so vapid and that she's she has lack of awareness as to she's met this guy multiple times, doesn't know his name, that type of shit. But because she saw him in her bedroom earlier. And she was talking to Marissa, and she was using his name, and so all of a sudden she just forgets his name at casino night.
But it's a lighthearted thread to a bunch of other very dramatic ones because we've also got Ryan finally deciding to let Marissa go. I guess that's sort of the last thread. I guess we didn't really talk about. Before everything comes to it.
Although I would argue that's more the Luke Marissa relationship.
There we go.
More so than Ryan just. It's like it's more about them and will they be together or will they not? Or
what do you guys think about the gambling kids? Is that okay or not okay?
I think it's weird to go to a party and just sit up by yourself and play slots. Like I think that's like there's all these people here. I'm just gonna go over here and do this. Like what? Why are you here with all these people?
Game.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get the ones where you're standing around.
Did you guys ever have that at high school, like gambling type stuff?
No.
We'd one at our prom. I remember that was like. everyone was handed a certain amount. You couldn't actually win money because that's illegal, but you were given chips, and then you could, I don't know, maybe win like tokens or something that you could turn in for raffle
JRR?
prizes. Yes.
South Carolina has a controversial history with video poker, and the law being very much against it. And so I don't think we would have ever experienced anything like that.
Got it.
Like than us.
Yes. Everything's a video slot poker in the North.
At one point when we've already kind of discussed how Ryan's mom goes to get a drink, but I thought it was super interesting that her drink of choice was a 7-7, which is what Ryan wanted to drink in episode 1 when he ordered a drink. So that had to be playing. I thought that was a neat little callback to, like, I guess their relationship and what they drink.
Yeah, he's observed her doing that, right?
Absolutely.
And spoilers, later on his brother comes back in the show and he orders 7-7s as well.
Oh shit.
It's a family thing.
Okay.
It's a little thing, but I like they pay attention to those little things.
And a 7-7 is
7-Up and Seagram 7.
why?
It's good. You should try it. It's
But
good.
like 7-Up, is that a thing anymore? No.
Yeah, man.
I think any type of citrusy soda would work.
Oh, okay.
But 7-7 sounds better than Sprite and 7.
So, okay, so this is interesting. So,
I'll be the judge of that.
yeah, this is not really interesting. But so Sandy goes.
Tweet us if you think this next thing that Jamie's going to say is interesting. Hashtag yes interesting or hashtag no interesting.
Make sure you send us a Yelp and a Yeti, and also I got nothing else.
So Sandy's mom goes, not Sandy's mom, Ryan's mom goes to take a drink. Kirsten stops her from drinking. And then just as it feels like they sort of diffused that situation and they're talking, Sandy runs up and is like, we need to talk right now.
Yeah.
And pulls her away. So, and then as a result,
It's the patriarchy.
Ryan's mom drinks, everything gets ruined. It starts the whole, that's the genesis of the show is why, because he
Phil
doesn't have a mom.
Collins of the game.
So one could argue that Julie Cooper starting that beef with Sandy is responsible for the entire OC show. Would not for her, she sets the entire ball in
true.
motion. That
Because,
If she had stayed sober, she would have taken Ryan home. They would have
Exactly.
moved in the house nearby instead. But
Julie's a true hero of everything.
yep,
Just like Luke is the other hero.
just kind of the Christ-like figure of the show.
That's Luke.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
She's a Mary Magdalene.
There we go.
figure.
I'll give it to you.
So the result is she gets sloppy. If we didn't say it, she gets very sloppily drunk, and she runs the gamut between angry drunk and then very maudlin, just like super weepy, super. Oh, Ryan, I'm so sorry that this happened. And she falls down. She blames it on her heels. We get the sense that this is something that she does quite often when she drinks. And I thought it was interesting the reactions that happened after that.
Yeah.
Specifically, Seth is like, fuck this summer girl. I gotta go help my buddy Ryan's mother.
that was awesome.
So points in his
best
his
night
court.
ever. Fuck it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then who else had a great
Luke.
reaction? Luke. He has no connection to Ryan like Seth does. I get what Seth helped out.
Since then, right before then, Ryan said to Luke, like, I tried, but she didn't want me, like, in regards to Marissa. And so Luke now no longer sees him as a threat. That's how Luke viewed Ryan, was like, oh, my girl's going to like him instead. But now he realizes, oh, my girl isn't into him. She's into me. That's when they go and, like, hand holds the slot machine together. And so now he's like, okay, he's just a kid I can help.
They're
Like,
rolling
he's-
dice together, let the chips fall as they may.
These crazy kids are just going to
So
make it
it's
work.
interesting. So in the absence of a rival or someone like an enemy, Luke is actually a nice enough guy, right?
Yeah, no, it was...
So that was my question, though. Is he a good guy in that moment? Again, it's like we keep interpreting Luke's intent, right? Is he a good guy in that moment, or is he just trying to suck up to Marissa?
or maybe he's like, let's get this Chino trash out of
Yeah, or
here.
is it
I'm
that
going to
too?
be here to put him on my arm and send them out the door, make sure no one lets this
Get outta here.
Because they do
Queer.
give him a little bit of a close up. Once the Cohen family gives her a shoulder to lean on, gives Don a shoulder to lean on, and they leave the party. Marissa comes up beside him again, and we got a close up on Luke's face, just kind of looking stoically out at them, like concerned in a way. I thought that was interesting. He didn't immediately. I figure if that scene was supposed to show him sucking up to Marissa or saying like they better get out of here, he would have had a different reaction at the end of the scene.
He would
other
have
than
been side-eyeing
Yes.
her instead and smirking. I thought it was kind of interesting how shocked everyone in like
oh yeah, a drunk person
that
falling.
that could
This
have
is
been
the OC. There's a bunch of waspy people probably day drinking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would be surprised that she was the only person who was carried away drunk from
Open
that
bar.
Right, like just rich people with nothing to do but get super drunk.
My favorite reaction to that whole thing was two stoner guys sitting there. When she falls, one dude goes, "Whoa, that lady, she's real drunk," and the other guy goes, "I bet you can bang her." Who the fuck are those guys?
Marissa told him to shut up, though, so
Marissa
she
is
heard.
not like that.
No.
I thought
So
that
she's
was,
getting a bit braver about her opinion of other people.
I had forgotten that line. I spit out my drink when the guy's like, "I bet you can bang her." Like, what a shitty. It's the first you see a middle-aged woman that's so drunk that she's like hurting herself, and your first reaction is, "But there's sex I can get because of this weekend."
I bet this old lady's so drunk and
Yeah.
out of her mind that she'll let me put my dick inside.
Is that his
her.
type? Who is this guy? And does no one? What happens? Let's chart out. What is that guy's life from this moment on? What is that guy now? 10 years down the line, what is he doing with his life?
Youth pastor or like
His dad's bailing him out of jail.
one or the other.
Oh, thanks. He's an MMA fighter.
Yes, astronaut.
He drowned trying to surf.
He becomes President Obama.
Dun dun dun.
Thank you.
He is Abe Lincoln.
I love the bit though where Seth ditched Summer to go help Ryan.
Do you guys remember Summer's react? I don't remember seeing her reaction there.
No, we don't see it.
I think she was just like back to the table, and
I would expect her to do like a little huff, like or something. I don't remember it though, so it must not have shown it really. I imagine someone's taking her new toy. Not gonna be happy right now, but okay. So they leave the party, and then Ryan taking. I guess Seth's rubbing off on Ryan a little bit, probably literally, because then Ryan is creepily watching his mother sleep as the scene closes down. Did that didn't come off as creepy to you guys? That's just me being a creep.
well, and I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to jump too ahead, but I liked the shot of him where he's like got a tie that's like unkempt. He's very adult looking, like worried about his mom staying up, looking over her and trying to be very much the parent and the adult in the situation, contrasted with a couple minutes from now when they say that he can stay and live there, and he's like, "Let's go talk," and he and Seth run off looking very much like a little kid. So
Okay.
I thought that was a cool scene to really drive home what life like with his mom.
Oh no! He has to be the adult in that situation. He gets to be the kid. That's what you're saying, right? Because
Yes.
there's a dialogue moment that's exactly right. What's the dialogue?
They ask him, what does he want to be?
Yep.
And he says, I just want to be 17.
Yeah.
Now that he sees what being a kid is like, he realizes he's missed out on some stuff and wants to be a kid.
They're making some great. They're aware of all this shit. Like that's impressive because maybe the first 3 times I watch it, I'm not making these connections. But now that we have to talk about it, I'm glad you guys are bringing this stuff up.
The gamble is not only gambling at the party, but the gamble is taking on Ryan.
And I have that question for the end of the podcast. What is everyone gambling?
The gamble is a metaphor. Basically, every episode, I guess, I'm assuming now, can start off not only with the letter D, but then end off with is a metaphor.
Okay.
Yes, yes, you said with the
exactly.
metaphor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Model home earlier.
Okay. So you guys didn't get a creepy vibe from him. It was just it was sweet. He was looking over. He was the adult in the situation.
I
Yeah.
don't remember her falling asleep.
She was just falling asleep in the pool house, and he was just sitting there watching her sleep. And I got I wanted to do the creepy Seth vibe. The joke was that Seth was rubbing off on him because Seth is creepy and watches people sleep. Probably
You
in his
gotta
free
stop
time.
talking about Seth rubbing off, because every time you do, I'm picturing him picturing Summer.
Just rubbing off
Just
all over
jerking
the
off
place.
on his toy horse that you haven't seen yet.
Is that Captain Oaks?
Well, we'll see. Not Captain. Okay, so the next morning, we get another a common scene in the OC. it seems.
Common semen?
A common scene in the OC and semen. No, a common scene that happens in the OC is mother wakes up early to sneak out, and she gets caught, which is the 3rd time this has happened now, right? She's caught by her counterpoint in Kirsten. She's sneaking out because, this is a good question. The mother's sneaking out to leave, to disappear again on Ryan, like she did in the end of the first episode. She says that she can't take care of Ryan, that this is a nice household for him, that Ryan's better off if she leaves him with Kirsten and the Coens. Is that true? Is she being selfish in this moment? Is she back off the wagon? Is this really for Ryan? Is she really trying to do what's best for her son? And do you guys buy that?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Ryan's way better off with them than he is with her.
Yes, I think her statement is true, and I think when she leaves, he will be in a better place. I think her reasoning is selfish and bullshit. The idea of like, this is the only, because you hear that all the time of like, oh, sorry, I wish I could, but he'd be way better there. That's her taking the burden off of her as needing to be a mom and a parent. The real answer should be my life is going to be really hard and I'm going to have to deal with not drinking in order to make his life better. But what she's saying is, well, I can't do anything. My hands are tied. He'd be better off with this family. And so she's
leaving a baby on a doorstep of an orphanage, basically. But
yes.
now this baby is 17 years old.
Her planet is exploding, and so she put baby Kent into a ship to send it to Earth to be raised with the Kents.
I've always thought of Ryan as kind of Batman, right? But how much is he, and Wolverine in a way, but how much is he Superman, really, if you think more about it?
Yep. But in this instance, her mom could stop the planet exploding. She's just like, well, it's going to explode, but I guess it's so.
Well, Jor-El warned them about the climate change.
AJ is Jor-El?
No, AJ is the stepfather.
That's true. He's not the real father.
Yeah.
The real father's in jail. We don't see it.
Wait, why do you think Ryan's like Batman?
Because he's got this sense of justice, and he's obsessed with justice and solving problems.
Okay, so when Kirsten gets insulted at the prison, he takes action. When he
really
sees
any
Marissa,
hero, I guess.
Okay.
Wolverine would do that too. Wolverine's protective of children and women, right? So
True.
Yeah,
seems like he likes to definitely protect women.
They would fight. Superman would probably lecture him about how that's not a proper way of talking to a woman. And
does Kirsten change her mind in order to make Sandy stop being upset over the $100,000? Is that why she takes in Ryan and ultimately?
I didn't even think about that.
Because that really, it doesn't, Sandy no longer cares about the $100,000 as soon as Kirsten changes her mind about Ryan. And now everything's sort of showing she's changing her mind. He's into architecture. He's commenting on the 120,000 pounds of concrete I have now and seems to know about my business and is taking an interest. But it also very conveniently helps get her out of the doghouse over $100,000.
It's kind of an amazing way to look at it. But
it's bringing it back to family, that this family's close-knit, and it's there's bigger things than money going on. It shows that Sandy is not unreasonable. He actually does trust her. He's not going to be no, you're going to try to fuck this guy. He might have been jealous a little bit, and there's some deep-seated stuff going on there, probably because he knows the history of Jimmy and Kirsten. But yeah, it's family. This is what's really important. All this stuff is nothing compared to, I feel like that's the values that's most important to them. That's why it glosses over the loan so much.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought it was interesting, I thought it was cool, the line of dialogue saying there's no return policy. When earlier, when Sandy gets home to see them playing video games, he's like, oh, you're an impulse shopper? It was just a nice little callback to sort of viewing Ryan in that sort of way.
And they viewed him earlier as a stray puppy that he brought in the first episode. I think Kirsten refers to him as a stray puppy. You bring in a stray. Okay, so Ryan's mother, Dawn, she's allowed to leave. She explains her reasons, and Kirsten, lets her leave. And then they come back inside the house, and Kirsten informs the family that Ryan will be staying for a while. All right. It's a heartwarming moment where Ryan smiles. He calls back to an earlier line when he's told he cannot stay forever, and he says, I guess I won't unpack my bags. And now the callback is he says, I will unpack my bags. It's from the beginning to end, the change with the callback. He's very happy. I think it's a very sweet moment. It always makes me a little choked up to watch just how genuine his smile is and how childlike he is after what we've seen.
You're tearing up now.
I am. I really like that scene a lot. I feel like he plays the childlike happiness, this relief. I feel like Ben McKenzie plays it perfectly.
I think right before, when he walks out and discovers his mom getting ready to leave, so much of their argument before was him being okay with trusting just a little bit. And I thought he played that scene particularly in his face. You see all the things as he's looking at the scene, slowly realizing what he's seen, all that little bit of hope and trust that he had been opening up, just getting crushed again. And so, yeah, I think to get that very next scene where he gets so excited at the idea of being able to stay with them was a sweet scene. I agree. It was well done.
But yeah, he seemed to go from betrayed and sad really quickly to happy he gets to stay. Mm-hmm. So, while he did want his mother to do well, I think he's also realizes how happy he can be here as well.
Because he can be 17.
Yeah, he can actually be his age, like you said.
And Seth goes, let's go gossip.
And so then they run and jump. I thought that was funny. They run and jump on the sofa, and you get to see Sandy's point of view, basically, looking in at the living room as they're talking on the sofa. And Seth is just kind of perched like a monkey on the couch, talking at Ryan's face, and Ryan just kind of not paying attention, looking off. And I'm wondering, in that moment, is Ryan regretting his decision to stay with the Coens? He's like, oh, this fucking guy, this is going to be my life for the next
I could have lived in an empty
50
house
years.
by myself.
Yep.
Oh.
I could have gotten a drunk mother or creepy serial killer Seth talking at me, probably about his toy horse.
But you don't know what her hair smelled like.
Seth knows what everyone's hair smells like.
Yes.
Okay.
Seth has some crazy wardrobe in this episode.
Oh, does he? I didn't know.
Like, he has, when he's standing outside the pool with Kirsten waiting for Ryan and Dawn to come home, like he's wearing
Waiting for Dawn to come.
a shirt that has a giant like double pattied hamburger on it, and underneath it says "True Love," which I don't know why they made that for him, and I don't get why hamburgers are his true love, but I guess it's canon now.
I'm going to guess that was Adam Brody's own shirt. I don't know why. I'm just going to guess that.
He just wore his own shirt there.
I mean, if he's an improver with his lines, maybe he improvs his wardrobe. Is that crossover? I don't know.
well, at the dinner, he was wearing an owl on his shirt, and it said "Wise Guy." So I guess maybe that's also a part of
damn
it.
it.
But he also had a Niagara Falls one, and that doesn't seem as weird.
I think he's got the ironic T-shirts, right? It's supposed to be nonsensical. Like that was a thing.
he didn't really go to Niagara Falls.
Yeah. Just like I had a Beavis and Butthead shirt when I was in high school, and I don't know if I loved Beavis and Butthead. I'd have like just a shirt with Days of the Week on it. Like, isn't that funny? You have the Days of the Week, or
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. I think I had
Like
one
you
with
wear
just
a
the
Wednesday
Alaska
on a
flag.
Friday?
Yeah, and I just have like the Alaska flag on it.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, just
But
lots
yeah,
of.
you go to a thrift store and you buy
Yeah.
a T-shirt or a bin full of T-shirts.
It's
for
funny. It's
50
a
cents.
reindeer that says like chocolate milk on top.
We should really start releasing our own T-shirts.
Yeah, it's just my favorite foods and animals in weird pairings. Mm-hmm. Chicken cutlet, and there's a turtle with a hat on. This is my turtle chicken cutlet. He's a real character.
These are all copyright OC men, by the way. Nobody steal these.
chicken cacciatore.
C and an O, Seaman.
Okay, and that's pretty much where that's pretty much where it ends with Seth badgering Ryan and the family sighing together. Everything is going to be perfect.
We're in way
It's
over
like the
our
end of a
head.
season, right?
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, there's loose ends with Marissa and stuff, but the Ryan stuff has come to. We're at least at the end of what I call the season, end of Act 1. Ryan has changed his status quo. He has entered a new location. Anyway, it's the end of Act 1.
Yeah, and I
in
think-
my opinion, the show can get started. It's kind of routine of week to week, as opposed now we know that Ryan's going to stay. That part's done. There's other plots now.
Exactly. I think we're getting into this show. This was the moment that I was sort of waiting for.
Me too.
That being said, I mean, I still enjoyed these 3
Yeah.
episodes together. It was a cool story, but all 3 of these episodes essentially feel like the pilot to the series.
Okay, like a 3-part pilot. Yeah,
Right.
Like this would be a good 3-part pilot to air, so you can get that out of the way. So you get.
It's almost like a mini movie, I guess. If you
Yeah.
brought it all
Okay.
back to
Yeah.
back, that would be a really solid just introduction.
Peter Jackson length movie.
Triple
It's,
co-pilot.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so now that if this is where the episode ends, I want to do a segment I'm introducing for this episode called Luke Watch. So if Luke gets probably a 0 or 1 out of 10 on the unlikability meter in episode 1, and he gets at least a 5 on the likability meter in episode 2, where's his likability on the 1 to 10 scale? Where is he after this episode?
I would give him a 7 or 8, and the reason why he's not full 10 is because he's so caught up in Marissa. I feel like if he wasn't so caught up, if he was less worried about his relationship with Marissa, I would dig him a whole lot more, I feel like. But because like that's his sun and his moon, he seems less cool to me.
So
Okay.
you're saying she's his Khaleesi and he's Khal Drogo?
Sure,
Oh,
yes,
sun and-
exactly.
is it sun
Yes,
and
and
And she's his little finger. Wait, no, Julie's little finger. Damn it.
It's gross. But no, I think that there was very little where it felt like they went out of their way to make him unlikable in specific scenes in the
Okay.
previous 2 episodes. I can't think of anything that felt deliberately to make him unlikable. He's respectful to women. Yeah. He's respectful to his elders. He's doesn't get in fights. He's
Which you're super concerned with at all times. Just
That's
really
the-
want to respect the elders.
it's the one reason I didn't want to watch the show. I thought maybe there would be some disrespect to elders at some point. And so you guys promised me that there won't be any disrespect.
Oh, wait till you meet the Nana.
is it a banana?
Banana.
It is not. No, I'm the banana, if you remember. The Nana is Sandy's mother you get to meet. She's called the Nana. I think it's supposed to be in reference to everything in the OC being called the pilot.
But so the
Model
nanny,
home.
the nana is a metaphor.
The Nana is a metaphor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the name of that.
But what number
episode.
do you give Luke Watch?
Oh.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I would go a little higher. I would go 9.
Wow.
I know. I
You can't
can't.
say no. Oh, you're not speaking German. Go on. Not a good joke. 999.
Filling it with the German jokes.
1803 Sturmangriff. That's prepare for the storm warfare. I knew that from a World War II video game.
Das ist aus nine booby. That's a Simpsons joke. But yeah, so I can't think of.
Hail
something
Hitler.
You clearly said Heil.
Oh, oops. I don't.
No,
I
you're
can't
hailing him
speak
for a
it.
cab. It's a cabbie, Hitler. He drives a local cab, so he's hailing
Yes.
Hitler.
It's this hail is terrible.
It's weather related.
Pot sticker? No, swat sticker. Go on.
Pot stickers, food.
Pot sticker's good. I'm hungry.
You put
as
pot
shit.
sticker with the badges.
I have
from
not
earlier.
eaten today, but somehow I have really bad heartburn. I thought you were supposed to get that from eating, but whatever.
No, but I need to just. I'm giving it a 9.5.
9.5?
I'm just worried that any joke I make will just get more and more racist. But it's no. I would say there was very little to make him an unlikable character in this.
All right.
A 180 from his previous characters.
I like seeing the characters have a nice 360.
While we're talking about numbers, when Ryan was mentioning his mother and him getting a house, he said
mother.
they would get one in the numbered streets. Does that mean that the streets they live on have actual names?
The number streets are usually like the cheaper part of town in cities. So it'll be like Blossom Street is a nicer part of town. If you go like 7th, the corner of 7th and 6th Street or something, that's when it gets the less. At least in the OC, and I think that's kind of a standard-y thing, right?
I live over near the mayor of KC, not to toot my own horn, and we are near the 9th and the 12th streets. So I think the OC.
But you're also not in mansions necessarily.
No.
So maybe it's like your quality house, which is fine.
Damn it.
But compared to
Nah,
a
man.
mansion,
Okay.
This
fair
is an
enough.
intervention to tell
like
you.
if you were
live in a
going, if you
terrible
moved the
part
OC, would you live in the mansions and the name streets, or would you live on 9th Street?
Please don't make me stop wearing my monocle.
I'm sorry. I know you love your monocle. I apologize, but you're gonna have to take off the top hat to fit on the ear muffs. Nope, the earphones. Rusty likes to wear ear muffs when he
Blueberry.
podcasts.
Yes, so can't hear anything.
The director of this episode was Ian Tonington, right? And so
I don't know.
he's been directing since 81. I looked it up just because I was curious. I've never seen him before. And he's done 3 episodes of series year after year after year, all different series, until this show, which he did 23 episodes and became sort of like an executive producer of. So I'm
damn.
curious to see the more things that he brings to this.
So I like that it's not necessarily the Bourne Identity director, but it's a series regular who's knows what he's doing.
He's well aware of. He's a seasoned television professional.
Yeah, they got like they bring in the big hitters for the pilots and stuff, right? Yeah, in the second episode, but then it's like, okay, we got to get down to business. We have to have the business of a television show just running, keep the trains on time.
Yeah.
Choo choo.
So what did everyone gamble? So if our thing is that every episode could be called, the model home is a metaphor, the gambles. So what was the metaphor of the gamble? What's being gambled by all our characters?
Well, Seth gambles. Summer never. Seth has never really spoken to Summer, probably because he's worried that Summer wouldn't like him. But now he's gambling, actually interacting with her, which is something he would never do before.
Will she notice the bits of her clothing that he steals and hides on his person at all times? Will she notice that he comments on how her hair smells and that all these creepy things he does?
And definitely, we see Ryan taking a huge gamble and letting his mom back into his life for one more chance.
I think he does not. He does not come up good on that gamble, I believe.
No, but on the other
he
hand,
rolls a bad number, a
9.
9.
Julie gambles or doubles down after Sandy insults her, and she goes, "Well, fine, fuck you. We're gonna go on this fight then."
If I'm going down, you're going down with me, type of thing.
yeah, I'm trying to think of any other gambling terms that I could throw down.
Sailboats.
Sandy Gambler.
And they certainly have a full house after bringing Ryan on board.
Everywhere you look. Is that
Can't
Full
pick-
House?
Yeah, there you
Step by step,
That's Full House.
Yeah.
day by day. Wheels go up. I was trying to. Nope, we're done.
What were you trying to do, Randy?
Family matters.
Okay, second time around.
Oh, no, it's Halo. I didn't. Nope, I'm getting punchy. What's your other question?
Well, with the gamble, so we're
What did Procter gamble? Nope. No one likes Procter and Gamble jokes. That's not fun for anybody.
There's like 4 businessmen who are listening to this, been like, ho 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 ho.
I think we have trod the gamble into the ground at this point. So what's going to come out of Sandy and Julie finding out about the borrowed money?
It really felt like at the end that it was a non-issue. I mean,
An issue?
yes, it's I can't go the other way.
Ish nut?
An ish non.
Call me issue?
Yeah, no, they were fine with it. After, like, once Ryan was there, it was like, oh, nope, water under the bridge. Yeah, you gave away that money, but I guess you have a lot of money and you can do that, so it doesn't matter if you don't tell
So
me.
Sandy and Kirsten are not going to have lasting jealousy issues or any type of problem?
I hope they bring it up again. It seems like a thing they should mention again, but
Just the
they're in the
dishonesty?
honeymoon period with Ryan, and so I guess it doesn't.
Ew.
It's not as.
There's a dishonesty there. Why'd she hide it in the first place? How about...
She's a bad fucking liar. When she was trying to get away from the OC women in the beginning, she was like, I gotta go check
she's
on
bad.
that thing. And it's just like, what the fuck? You can't make up an excuse in your own house on, I gotta go look at my son for a second, make sure he's like, come on, Julie.
The kitchen's on
Or
fire.
Kirsten.
Make sure he's not murdering Summer.
Yes.
How about Julie and Jimmy? They seem to have a little bit less of a perfect relationship than Sandy and Kirsten. So what's the fallout from that going to be?
We didn't get any resolution, I don't
No.
think, with where Julie is still mad and
Being
seething over this.
passive-aggressive, yeah.
And certainly we've established her as a manipulator and a planner. So I think that
Typical Lakeside.
Riverside.
Damn it! She wishes she was a
You
Lakeside.
do not besmirch Lakeside. Those
Silver
people
Lake?
are saints. So I think that we'll certainly see more coming from that.
I hope Julie starts getting upset at Jimmy spending all his time on the couch eating chips. Like, that's all he does now. Ever
living
since
the
he
good
got
life.
like before he got the money, he was always behind his desk, constantly working, constantly trying to figure ways out. Gets the money and just hanging out at his desk from now on. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Not worried about where the rest of the money's coming
Doesn't
from.
make me like him that much.
Jimmy's gambling with other people's money, and then he's losing. Like
Yeah.
that's what got him into trouble as well.
That's where
Intriguing standout moments or plot or dialogue, anything from this episode? Did anything stand out as a great line that you liked a lot?
I don't know if there were lines in particular, but I certainly liked what we talked about, the sort of different pairings that
Yeah.
we saw, where we got some Ryan and Sandy type stuff. We got some Ryan and Kirsten. Got Marissa and Summer. I feel like we got to see a little more of Kirsten, Summer, and Julie, which were all characters who we were familiar with, but we didn't really know them very personally. And so I like getting to get bits of each of those characters.
Yeah, we got to see sober Summer for the first time.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Did you like sober Summer more than drunk Summer?
She's a fun character. She's a fun character.
She's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned characters being paired up again. How about the female? Did we get any better characterization of the female characters? Are they still background? Are they still unlikable?
No, I think this episode in particular was very female focused. That I'm trying to think if we even get. We get a little bit of Ryan and Seth, but primarily it's just the different what all of the females are doing.
And that was a reaction from the first couple. Like, okay, we got to start setting up these characters more than just background.
Yeah, that seems like that makes sense. And in my head, that's what you'd bring Jane Espenson in to do.
Okay.
It's just like, all right, flesh out all of these characters and set this up as a big world. But
Like, we know what we want each individual episode to be later on in the series. Like, we have that idea, but we need to get that status quo set up. We've put all these pieces in place. Can you, like, make sense of them and weave them all together? Which she did a great job in the the Vegas night scene.
Da-da. So this make you...
I was trying to go into the drums again, but
I
then
know.
I forgot.
So did you guys like any of the female characters more after this episode? Because I know you specifically said that both Marissa and Summer and the mother Kirsten did not have much going for them.
Yeah, except for Julie. I feel like Julie's kind of unlikable, but you see her point of view.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like Kirsten comes out on top of all of this, that you get to, one, see her point as not so much just the wet blanket to all of the fun that all of the guys want to be having, but instead someone with real concerns and real worries, but then also in a believable way, having her come around and decide that, letting Ryan into the house is an okay thing to do.
All right, and similar to the questions I've asked in other episodes, what is the future for Ryan now? So he gets to stay here, right? So what do you guys expect? I mean, you obviously know he's going to stay there for a little bit. So what are you expecting? The loop thing keeps coming up. What's the future for Ryan? In
I
Newport?
expect Ryan to go to school and get such good grades so quick that he'll have to compete with whoever the current valedictorian is, and they all have to battles over who gets the most A's.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So yeah, definitely we're going to send him to school.
It's very specific.
Yes. I like to think it'll end with a fist fight with the valedictorian. And holding a fork to his neck.
Where did that mark go? That mark just disappeared. It was in that one
covered
scene.
up by his choker.
Yes, he did get his choker back, so he got his power. But I think that the previous 2 episodes had ended, or there was a scene where people discovered him with black eyes, and I think they needed to give him a different mark.
There are no black guys in the
I missed
OC.
it. Yeah, there's not been a black guy discovered on the OC.
No, the cop was.
I think I saw one in the prison scene.
There were a couple.
Thanks, McG.
Yes. No, I think that to have him show up, instead of just having his face beat up, they had to give him a new special mark to be like, oh, he's got his ass kicked again. So they went with fork neck.
Okay.
It's
Fork neck.
Yep. All the kids in 2003 were doing it.
Do the fork neck. All right. Well, what else you guys got for me? I'm out of notes. What else you got? Well, what do you want to talk about?
No, I think this is solid. I mean, I'm excited to see it, the Act 1 wrap up, and I'm excited to get into where the stories are going to progress from here. So I think they've built the world, they've set everything up. I'm interested to see what episode 4 is going to bring.
Yeah.
It'll bring more big deal parties. That's the frame for every episode.
They've already mentioned the cotillion, so I'm ready for that to happen. And I've kind of assumedly seen it in the opening credits when they show Marissa wearing a dress, and I think that was Jimmy on her arm. But
all right, I think that's cool. I feel like I have a good sense of the world, the different character drama. I'm interested. I imagine even though right now it feels like Ryan and Marissa and Luke are in a sort of stable place, I imagine that will probably become a tad unstable. Unstable is a thing. Probably unstable as well.
Stable as a table.
unstable.
Safe as houses.
Yeah. So that's it's good.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid.
I like it. Let's do
Plugs.
But
Hey guys, my name is Russell Simmons, and you can find me on Twitter at RussellManiaSC. Also, look up Pasta Robot on YouTube to see some fun sketches. South Carolina comedy, y'all.
And I'm JT, and I like the OC.
My name's Jamie, and I don't have any good plugs, but you can try and make me use Twitter at Jamie Clark. Yeah.
Cool. What's our outro?
Oh, see you later.
Okay.
Well, that wraps up this episode. So, hey, audience.
Oh, see you later.